many people on the call and some familiar names as well. So we'll go ahead and start sharing our presentation. I'm really excited to have all of you guys here today, as I mentioned in the chat. And make sure that you guys, if you want to engage with us in the chat, please do so. We love to hear from you. So hello, everybody. My name is Claudia. If you don't know me already, I'm part of the team here at Admiral, and we want to thank you for joining us today. And whether you're joining us today because you're already an Admiral customer or you're checking out us for the first time, we hope that you'll interact, adding comments and questions into the chat as we go along. Feel free to let us know in the chat if you're already an Admiral platform user. Tell us your favorite feature if you are and where you're joining us from. And I have a little cat right here, so you might see him at some point during the screen or during the webinar. Let us know if you have animals and pets around you too. Are you working from home? Do you have cats and dogs? We'll have plenty of time for Q&A, and we may even have a few questions for you at the end because your feedback helps us steer this ship. So before we dig in, keep in mind that this product roadmap presentation is intended to outline our general product direction. The information provided here is for information purposes only and is not a commitment to deliver specific functionality. The development, release, and timing of any features or functionality described are still to be determined. That being said, let's take a look at our track record and our plans for the rest of 2024. Mark is going to walk us through some of our developments this year.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mark, and folks call me MikroTik Mark. And I want to say that a lot of development has happened since our last roadmap webinar. As we continue to enhance our platform and serve our MikroTik network operators all over the world better. A number of those improvements are listed here on the left, including Wi-Fi support for AX MikroTiks utilizing Wi-Fi 6 and RouterOS 7, latest hardware and firmware, all the way to organizational groupings that allow you to see your MikroTiks in a more customized view on your dashboard. On the right side here, we're going to dive in with a little deeper detail over the next 2 slides, starting with offline mode Admiral. Many of you have told us that it's not enough to just have an on-premise dedicated Admiral option. For some of our customers, internet access is not an option for companies that have very strict security policies. So it's imperative that our software can work without needing internet connectivity. With some retooling, we've been able to succeed in this mission to provide Admiral services in a completely isolated environment. With offline Admiral, there's no internet connectivity, but you still have all the benefits of MikroTik centralization and automation tools at your fingertips. And with Admiral Manager, you can schedule time to connect your Admiral to the internet and download the latest MikroTik firmwares to your Admiral cache, as well as update your Admiral dashboard yourself and check on the health and status of your Admiral deployment to restart services if needed. And FYI, Admiral Manager is for all dedicated Admirals, not just offline ones. If you've ever wondered if one of your TICs has a certain configuration parameter or looking for which ones have a particular directive, our new searchable backups tool will help you find what you're looking for in a snap. And in the feature request UI, everyone can see approved feature requests and can use our voting system to let us know which features are the most needed by adding +1s. Not only do we put what we think should be built next, but you too can enter your own suggestions, and if it's approved, everyone else in the world can vote to make it our next big thing. For some of our customers, branding is an incredibly important piece of operating a managed Wi-Fi network with MikroTiks. We now have the ability to put your logo in the iOS and Android app stores with your name and icon that drives our Compass Wi-Fi feature set. Inside your custom branded app, customers can see and update their SSID and passphrase, use parental controls to pause devices, set schedules, and rate limit those gaming system downloads that can overtake the whole network, as well as run speed tests and gain insights into their home Wi-Fi bandwidth usage. If you'd like to get your company logo into the iOS and Android app stores, there's never been a better time. Right now, through the end of July, we're offering $109 a month or $1,090 per year for us to build, submit, and maintain your Admiral app with your branding. One of the things that's incredibly time-consuming as a network or RF engineer is site surveys. Sometimes entire days are spent walking around from spot to spot, checking the Wi-Fi, listening for interference, tuning frequencies and power levels. One of our customers pointed out that when a building is full of MikroTik access points, we could use each one of the MikroTik access points to listen to each other and perform a site survey remotely. And we could do it in seconds instead of hours. We're introducing Admiral Radar to enable your customer support team to remotely perform site surveys and tune the Wi-Fi for optimal performance with minimal interference and less need for technical expertise. Another customer let us know that they work with MDU building owners and would like for a tenant to be able to move in, join the Wi-Fi, get caught with a captive portal where they can pay for their service, and then keep paying until they move out, all with self-management tools for their Wi-Fi and automations to collect the cash while making the Wi-Fi ready to captive portal again when the next tenant moves in. With Anchor, Admiral helps you collect from your customers. Next, Candace will be walking us through some of the further 2024 development initiatives.
Hey, everybody. Yep, I'm Candace, and I help to guide our product development. So let's talk about what's releasing soon. Integrating Admiral into our customers' workflow has been a big focus for 2024. And with that in mind, we've developed our first version of a dashboard API that our current customers can integrate into other dashboards or to create scripts to programmatically manage their Admiral routers. In version 1, we are releasing the ability to add routers, get a list of routers in the dashboard, get notifications, router health, and more. Also currently in development is speed test automations. From being able to set a specific speed test endpoint to automatically running speed tests. These improvements will help operators understand network performance at a whole new level. And lastly, we've gotten considerable feedback from our customers on the wireless interface page. We have a number of user improvements in the works to show in the dashboard the number of devices connected to an access point and identify which specific devices are connected. So now let's talk about what we are currently working on. What's currently in development is additional improvements to Radar to make the system auto-implement power and frequency changes to keep overlapping from happening. This continuous scan and improve mechanism should help to lower support costs from MDU subscribers. In 2023, we deployed a backup system called High Availability for our on-premise customers. And this provides backup at our East Coast data center. In 2024, we are looking to expand our data center options to give our current and future customers reliable disaster recovery. Also, we are working on business intelligence modules. Development is underway on collecting and exposing to the dashboard metrics on the network, such as network top talkers. This gives operators insight on what customers are consuming the most bandwidth and to identify opportunities to move those customers to an upgrade based on consumption. Support documentation is always being updated as our new features roll out. And this year, we're making an effort to push out video guide tutorials that will help our users understand how to enable new features as we roll them out. We continue to work on the OpenAI chatbot that has been released in beta. And the goal of this is to give the chatbot context-specific support information based on the page that the user is on. And lastly, we're compiling our MikroTik education articles to enhance our new Discord channel as we expand our MikroTik knowledge base with Admiral community members. And we're opening the channel for other members to share their knowledge. If you're not part of the Discord community and you'd like to access it, please email us at support@admiralplatform.com.
Thanks, Candace. One thing that larger customers have pointed out is that Admiral lacks the ability for customers to self-import their MikroTiks in bulk. We have internal tools that our team uses, but there's no way for you to bulk import on your own. So we're going to make that easy with an interface where you can add your ticks without needing our help, and you could even automate subnet scanning so that ticks can import themselves to your Admiral dashboard automatically without needing to adjust your workflows. Sentinel is our code name for centralized syslog collection, and we're incredibly excited by the possibilities. Imagine getting both reactive notifications that one of your ticks appears to be in the process of being brute force attacked, and also a proactive notification that because we discovered your OSPF network doesn't appear to be following best practices, we're seeing some network churn that might result in an outage soon. Branding, tenancy, Anchor, and Radar will all continue to get some love as we iterate and improve these features based on your feedback. Speaking of which, how great would it be to know the top 10 list of the customers who are regularly maxing out their bandwidth? And maybe they should get a call for an upsell. Or which of your customers aren't getting at least, say, 70% of their subscribed speed plan during automated speed testing? Expect to see more alerts and enhanced insights as we continue to evolve Admiral. We may be the best MikroTik management, but we certainly don't think that we know everything. So also be sure to fire up the feature request UI in your account and let us know how you think we can improve. You can also drop questions into the chat window here, and we hope you'll consider providing additional feedback with the survey.
Excellent. Well, now we welcome your questions, and I'm going to go ahead and put the survey into the chat. So if you see what I just posted, that is the forms, the Google form, and you want to fill it out and let us know a little bit about what you think about our future plans, and we'd love to hear it. In the meantime, I didn't see anybody chatting about their pets or their animals that they have at work with them or at work from home. So don't forget to let us know if you're working with animals. And again, if you have any questions about the actual content that we just went over, please feel free to let us know. I think we can even allow you to come off of mute if you want to just say your question instead of typing it. Just let us know. And in the meantime, let's see. So we do have a question. Is it possible to use Admiral as a hotspot for end users, subscribers of a wireless network, considering that the MikroTik routers in question do not have a wireless interface in the environments? We only have Ubiquiti Unify APs.
I suppose I'll take that. And so currently our Anchor is still under development, and the way it works today is that we integrate with the payment processor Stripe. You create a Stripe account, implement your API key, and will then redirect the access point joining process on a phone, a mobile app, or on a browser, Windows, Mac, iOS, and by capturing that flow of traffic, they'll get redirected to a payment page. Now, Hotspot is not something we support today, but we are considering supporting it in the future. Now, because you mentioned that the MikroTik is maybe at the central point, and then you've got a bunch of access points behind it, in that case, we can support that because they would be joining Wi-Fi, and that traffic would still flow through the MikroTik, which would allow for Anchor to use. If you'd like to try Anchor and see if it's a good fit for you, send us an email on your account and we can enable that for a testing.
Excellent. Okay, perfect. He said, okay, thanks. And thank you for the question. Thank you for the question as well. And well, I'll ask a question that maybe some people have but haven't asked, but do we have an API that's going to have webhook integration as well?
I'll take that one. Right now, our API does not have a webhook integration. It's something we're considering. And as we build out, we'll kind of go with what our users' feedback is on workflow. And, something like our notifications would be probably a good webhook where we're constantly, pushing out to our customers any events that happen with a notification.
Excellent. And I think Tyler looks like he'd be all for that. He says that would be great, or Discord natively. He says, I had to write some middleware to get Admiral notifications into Discord. So maybe that's something that we could work on in the future.
We got big thumbs up from Tyler. Yeah, so webhook integration, I think, makes a lot of sense from the perspective of we're already doing alerts and notifications. We just need to decide which things are going to land in there and what's the mechanism. And if that's something that's important to you, I hope that you'll jump into the feature request UI and hit a +1 on that feature request for webhooks.
Excellent, excellent. And then anybody else with questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I have one more that I'm kind of interested in hearing more about while we wait and see if anybody else has a question. But I'm interested in knowing more about the BGP peer groups and reports.
Yeah, so one of the things that we've started working on but haven't completed yet is an integration with Team Cymru. And if you haven't heard of them, their website is team-cymru.com. They're a security company, and one of the things they do is offer free BGP peering to a global network that they call UTRS, which is their unwanted traffic removal system. In order to support that, and the goal long-term is to have an easy button where if you're under a DDoS attack, you could join this global network and say, hey, I want to filter out traffic to this IP and help reduce the traffic that's hitting your network and clogging up your pipes. So in order to support that, we've begun to work on some BGP, which is the Border Gateway Protocol. If you're a larger ISP, you probably have your own autonomous system number from your local registrar, and that means that you've got a whole bunch of IPs and customers. And so the BGP information that's available in the dashboard will just display that today. Later on, we'll be taking action by integrating with Team Cymru and doing some other health checks to show you how your BGP peerings are looking.
Excellent. Cool. Always could use a little extra security out there, right? So let's see. Yuri has, I think this is maybe a feature request, but I'm not exactly sure. The allowed IPs screen could bring information such as the host name resolved to the IP entered and additionally a field for comments.
Yeah, so I haven't heard this feature request before, but immediately I can see the value here of integrating. So right now we do some lat-long lookups to show you where your MikroTiks are on the map if you haven't entered your own address information manually. We could leverage that same backend infrastructure to look at your allowed IP addresses, and then you could know a little bit more about those allowed IPs, where they're physically located, what country they're from, see if anything doesn't look right to you, as well as you say, doing a reverse lookup that could give you a little more information, maybe even a little note field on that so that you could say, hey, this one is my house, this one is my office, this was when I was at the hotel last month, and maybe I don't need that one anymore. Great feature request. I'll definitely take that one and put it in the list.
And Mervin is asking, is there any plans for NetFlow integrations to be able to see what kind of traffic is flowing through your MikroTiks?
So the current answer is no plan for NetFlow, but we certainly could. One of the challenges with NetFlow can be, depending on the amount of traffic, you may want to do some sampling instead of grabbing all of the flows. And so it becomes a question of what are you trying to accomplish with the net flows? So the mechanisms we use today are that periodically we'll connect to the router for a fraction of a second, grab all our telemetry data, and then log out. And that allows our platform to be extremely lightweight. Tracking with net flows means that a little micro piece of data is getting sent to a collector nonstop, constantly, and there's got to be a lot more brains to analyze those collector flows. So at this point, we don't have plans for a NetFlow integration. It'd be interesting to know what you'd like to collect with that NetFlow, whether you're looking for complete analysis with our tool or just like an easy button to send to your collector and analyzer. Let us know what kind of thing you're looking to accomplish there with that NetFlow data.
Awesome. Great. Thank you for that. And Tyler has mentioned this before, but does anyone see any value in integrating with QoE providers like Preseam to get some data from them into Admiral, like latency, TCP, retransmit, etc., for operators to overlay with Admiral metrics? Maybe that's just me, he says. But have you added it to the feature request UI? That's what I want to know. See, I got you on that one. He says, you got me. So great. I mean, definitely it's something that if we get enough +1s on that, I mean, that will always bump it into that'll let us know, right, that a lot more people are interested in it. You'll find out if it's just you or if it's everybody else too. And are there any other questions, or Mark, did you want to tackle anything on that Preseam question, or is that something that we just want to see if more people have interest in it?
Sure. So I think that there's a couple of iterations of things. I'll share what has been shared with me so far, and maybe we can clarify which thing we want to tackle or at least talk about. So one thing that has been requested is if I have another dashboard that does something with, a MikroTik, maybe I have a MikroTik in a home and I'm using Sonar for billing and Preseam for quality of experience, which is the QoE. It would be great to be able to be in our dashboard, click a button to go straight into Sonar with the same customer, click a button and go straight into Preseam with the same customer. And Sonar and Preseam have that integration already today where you can just jump back and forth really easily. And that's something that I think now that we've implemented the API, we're a lot closer to being able to have that functionality where you could have a deep link that just goes straight to that customer. I think that part is pretty easy for us to get to from where we are, and is probably a direction that we're going to head sometime soon. Now, as far as overlay, what I'm guessing is that might be useful to have a graph here for a MikroTik, and then pull in that similar data set from Preseam, for example, and say, hey, show me what you've got for this same MikroTik. And then you could kind of look at things from two different dashboards in a single screen to kind of analyze what the things look like from each of the different perspectives. And that one, I don't know how big of a lift that would be compared to where we are today.
Fair enough. All right, great. Well, if there's no more questions, then we'll just hope that you guys will take our little survey. I'm going to paste it and put it into the chat one more time. Let's see. Oh, what do we get? So Tyler said, right, basically if pre-seam shows bad QoE for a customer, it would be cool to see if the issue is with the Admiral router. No comment required, just clarifying. Okay, great. Thanks, Tyler. Perfect. Okay, great. Well, that gives us a little bit more of an idea of what you're looking for. And again, thank you guys so much for joining us today on the Roadmap webinar. We'd love to, again, share our ideas with you and get ideas back that you guys are looking for. So thanks again, and we appreciate you being here with us. I think that's probably it, huh, Mark?
Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Appreciate your business. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, guys.